Hello,
Perfect.
Kanika. Thank you for doing this with me. Welcome to the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhu. Thank you for having me here. I think it's a pleasure for me to be able to speak to you.
Please tell a little bit about yourself. Like, how are you doing?
I've been doing art as from childhood,
Mm.
and professionally, I am a motorcycle designer. I
Okay.
studied design from NIFT Delhi and then IIT Bombay, and currently pursuing my PhD from IIT Delhi. The area is design itself.
Mm.
So, as a normal child would be, I would practice art, and then during our times, if you could relate to me here, there was a lot of focus on studying. Like, okay,
Mm.
art is something you do for a hobby, but
Mm.
that's not your profession, right? At least
Mm.
for me as a child, it was like that.
Mm.
So always on like, what's the score in maths? What's the score in science? And slowly art took a back seat. But then, something which gives you solace and something that you connect to you, which connects to you and gives you sanity, you always go back to it.
Mm.
But it's changing. Today you speak about art, it's not just a mode of self-expression, but also I've seen so many people seek therapy through art therapies. They're practicing art and slowly, getting back to their own self, their own sanity, basically. I find that thing in art today.
Mm.
So for me, at times it's like I want to help people. So generally, whenever I conduct workshops, it's free. But in a session, I never tell them that this is therapy or something like that. But then their engagement with the medium, the coloring medium itself is like a very calming process. When they're going out of the session, it's like more calm, more peace,
Mm.
and with a promise that they would continue to do it.
Yeah,
So
that's absolutely beautiful that you have just mentioned. Um, has there been any moment in your life where things were tough and art pulled you through?
yes. So here I would like to go back to my childhood
Mm.
and say, because probably I get my art from my father. He
Mm.
father's side of family, because
Oh,
everybody is like really good at art. Everybody is a lawyer. Some people are engineers. Somebody
pure
has a business.
hobbies.
They never really took it into business point of view for them.
Okay.
But yes, that I got it from there. I had mentioned that it was a hobby, and it
Mm.
was like pushed behind. Appear for art competitions, I would win medals. So
Mm.
it came naturally to me. And I was also the eldest in the family. I have
Mm.
two younger brothers.
Mm.
So my parents' first child. So they don't know. Fortunately, when I attempted my boards, I had a subject called fine arts.
Mm.
When we sat for our board exams, so I got like all over India rank one.
Mm.
So my parents like, okay, you're like rank one. Now what next? Like, because after 12th you have to think about it. Which
Mm.
stream do you want to do? What do you want to do? So I sat for a lot of engineering exams and all that. But unfortunately, ranks came, but very not the best ranks. So you
Okay.
don't get best of the colleges. Okay, now what to do? So my parents said, okay, her art is good, let us fill forms for design schools as well. And I'm
Mm.
talking about, I think, almost 11 years back, like a decade back, where
Mm.
today design schools have become very, very popular.
Right.
It's almost people talking about having the kids in design schools and all that. But a decade back, it wasn't true. There was a handful of design institutes in India, and people did not knew. And also your peers, they are appearing for engineering colleges,
Mm.
and there is like very handful of people who would write for designs, and mostly the people who are not rank holders. So
Right.
it gets little wary. But that time my parents said, Ki, no, it's not a normal art that she has, and we must think about her career as a designer, or her career as a some artist, because again, very limited knowledge, because internet wasn't there. Even
Mm.
forms, I remember during those times, you have to go purchase the forms, fill
Yeah.
the form, and post the form. So
Mm.
all this was difficult. It's not as easy as today. So I came as a rank holder in NIFT. So NIFT is a design
Okay.
school.
Right.
And without a second thought, my parents said, okay, her art is like, let her do what she likes for the first
Mm.
time.
Mm.
Let her do. So they actually risked their first child, because again, they were also not prepared, but they said no. They're confident she'll sail through. It's a key thing. That was the first time that art really helped me actually change my life. Very,
Mm.
very frankly speaking, because now today, when after 11 years
Mm.
and 2 degrees and third almost getting over now. everything to do with art, I
Right.
can look back and say, okay, my parents took one wise decision for me,
Mm,
um, was to let me follow my passion. So here I would like to mention, like, not this lockdown, but the
mm,
first lockdown.
mm.
Like I mentioned earlier, I'm also a motorcycle designer.
Right.
So we have a community
I
of
must I must say I'm a big fan of your motorcycle art. It's really
thank
creative.
you so much. Thank you so
I
much.
like the concept.
Getting such words from an artist who I look up to, I think it's made my day, if I say. So we have community of motorcycle riders. So what had happened
Right.
is, like, suddenly lockdown happened, and people couldn't go out on bikes. No, I mean, like,
Right.
these
Right.
people could plan trips and everything. So what to do now? What can you do? So Royal Enfield at that time approached me, and they shared this thing that we want to engage with our rider
Mm,
community.
mm,
So what do you think can be your idea? Because, like, since nobody can go out, okay, and
true.
also these people are not artists,
Mm,
can be, but not everybody is an artist.
mm,
And also the thing is that they will not have your brushes as well, like,
mm,
because they are
right.
not artists. So having a brush itself is like little difficult from for them. So, and during such times where initially we were suffering, you cannot get anything from outside,
Mm,
everything is shut and everything, so they can't even buy it.
mm,
So now what can you do? Can you do something? And then we really, everybody was just getting disheartened by this whole lockdown. And
mm,
precisely for these people on bikes who
mm,
had this whole idea behind having bike is like, was you sit on the bike and go out.
right.
So there is no
Right.
limit of, locking down. So
Life
is
is
there
a
something
vibe.
that, yes, yes. And they don't believe in these foundations. No, they don't want to
True.
stay inside the house at all.
True.
So can you do something? We want to do something about it and all that. So I then conducted a small workshop,
Mm,
which happened in three phases for three levels for everybody
okay.
joining in. And we together created doodles. So
Mm,
it was not water paints, but doodles.
okay.
The idea was just reliving their initial trips that they had gone to
Mm,
maybe Ladakh or to Himalaya or their own bike as such. So
right.
I used a simple pen, like a
Mm,
ball pen.
mm,
Everybody will have a ball pen, right?
true.
And even for me, I told them, if you have a paper which is not even blank, it
Mm,
has lines, that is also okay. You just bring
right.
that paper
Mm,
and have that pen and paper. And then I
mm,
taught them how to doodle their bikes. So
mm,
different people will have different bikes. So
correct.
together we started learning some basic shapes and engaging with them.
Mm,
And the output was they actually made their own journey into a doodle.
mm,
So, they on their bike with their friends, with couple of other bikers in the mountains, and everybody's creating doodles around that thing. And then we finally, Royal Enfield culminated it into a form of everybody sharing their rides, because now people cannot go out and ride because of
mm,
the lockdown. They just either share their dream ride by mode of a doodle, or
okay.
whatever ride they took maybe earlier that year or past years, and they now want to put it up and show it in form of an art.
Mm,
So that's something, like, again, more of the crowd was men,
mm,
and because it was related to motorcycle. But again, they found happiness. Everybody shared their art on Instagram, tagged people,
mm,
and even till today, when we hit with the lockdown in March, there were some people who were revisiting that thing, like,
mm.
drawing
Yeah,
their.
that's a really interesting idea. It may seem simple, but I am sure there's a lot of thinking that went into it. Once art touches you, it will be with you forever. So you can
Absolutely, I agree.
go
I
back to it.
agree to
Yeah,
that
you can go
thing.
back to it and pull from it whenever you want. What is your daily routine or things that you do on a daily basis? What are your go-to things?
I always am a believer.
Yeah.
If the woman of the house is not so happy, it reflects in the house. The
Mm,
energy changes.
mm,
So that's there. And something that I do on daily basis is, like, I really believe in taking baths to clean your energies
mm,
precisely.
mm,
So whenever, and in fact, I was not a believer of it since
mm,
the last year, but
mm.
I have really seen, very good results of it.
Let me tell
Um,
you Pause for a minute. So how did that come about to you? Like, for example, you, like you said, you were not a believer in like anything
Mm-hmm.
gifts by just a simple bath, because these are the
True.
simple things that we do which we do not have the idea of what power it holds until we use them, try them on a regular basis. Anything small and simple somebody tells us, it's like, oh, it has to be something like a rocket science for
Yes,
it to
yes.
be working. Something as simple as a bath, everybody takes a bath, so what's the big deal? So I want to listen you out there, like why were you like, what shifted?
Okay, so something here I would like to give credit to art as well here, not directly but indirectly, because I found myself, like I said, that my mind, body, and soul needs to be in one line to be able to create art. So I found that even if I'm ready enough to hold everything,
Mm,
I did not find myself having the energy enough to execute myself on the
mm,
paper. But once I probably was I sat down and then I thought, no, I'm a little bit tired. Let me just go for a warm shower and then come back and sit and create something.
okay.
And it happened once, and just I mean, like, it was like you said, mentioned
Mm,
earlier, that somebody has to try something once, and if it
mm,
is like their thing, they will go back to it.
yeah.
So I always do it, whether now it's irrespective of art, my doing art or not.
Mm,
But the results I saw in it's something like you. It's different to hear somebody say,
mm,
what is it? Simple bath. I take bath every day. But there's
mm,
something else if you relate directly to it, and it gives you
mm,
something more than that.
mm,
So that's one key thing that I always try to do. Sometimes I'm not a believer of taking bath once, but I at least take it two times before sleeping as well. I want to cleanse it out, create a balance from
mm,
the remove all the energies from the day, and then really
mm,
relax during those times. And also, like you had mentioned earlier, initially I would have all the art supplies in the box,
mm.
which is kept on the cupboard. So now you
Right.
have to take out, you have to find one moharat on which you will lie on that
For
and take
storage.
out
Yeah.
from the storage. So now I built a small space for myself, like in some corner where I have
Yeah.
my table. The lightning
Mm,
is done. My brushes are there. My everything is done.
mm,
Whenever I feel okay, there's little something I need to do for myself, I just have to go there, sit, and start doing it.
mm,
I don't have to think about, acha, I have to take out this tool, first climb this tool, take out that stash, and then, and
yeah.
then, and trust me, I can relate to the point you said. As artists, we are like hoarders.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
remember
We love
now,
our stationery. We love our brushes and material.
so
And imagine my plight when my kids steal away everything I get.
I
I
think
can't say no. I can't say yes. So personally, I want to say no. But as a mom, I want to show them what's the best way when somebody. So I said, okay, do not take away. Let's all sit down and enjoy it together at least.
I think this is something now I have to learn from you, because as of now I don't have kids. But
Well,
yes, and like very soon everything is going to be open. Like what can you
yeah,
do? It's your kids. You
exactly.
cannot be doing it. And in any which way, as a mom as well, you would want to inspire your kids as much as you. I think as parents we want to give them whatever we couldn't get in our
Okay.
times. So that's one thing also. So I mean, like, probably I wouldn't have used those expensive watercolors when I was a kid, but yeah, if I see a little thing of to my children, probably I would want them to introduce to all the brands, this paper, that paper, this brush. So yeah, that's also one of the things. Yes, I am also a very big hoarder, and I was like hearing you. Oh, I have this whole stash of it. I'm like, okay, I'm not the insane one only. Because just buying things because I want to use it for something which I will like use
Enjoy.
it not now, but years back, years down the line, I will use it. But yeah, that's the thing. So I have now created a space. There is a space where I sit. I have my stationery in place, which really helps me a lot because it gives you a sanity basically. Your belongingness come, okay, this is the corner that I have.
Hmm.
And also now one third thing that I would mention is now I started reading as well.
Hmm.
um, I was a one person, so like I mentioned earlier, I have two younger siblings as well.
Hmm.
So the brother that I have younger to me, was a reader since child. So
Mm,
he wasn't the artist, but he was a reader. So
mm,
he would buy all the books, and even till today, he would invest a good amount of his salary having hardbound books. So
okay.
there was times where I would like mock at him
Ah,
that, "Are you
ah,
serious? Why would you spend so much money on a book?"
ah.
You know. But
Give that
now
money
I
to
realize,
me. I'll buy watercolor paper and
yes.
fancy paints.
And this is what he told me. He said, okay, you also invest your money somewhere, okay? You buy those paints which are way expensive than my
Exactly.
book. But now I invest, like, there's some amount which goes also in books as well.
Mm,
And I found like it helps. It
mm,
helps you to learn so much more than you really know on day-to-day basis. It widens your thought process and gives you an inspiration.
mm,
So, as an artist, what do you need? Ultimately, you need inspiration, right?
right.
So, I derive a lot of inspiration from the books that I read,
Mm,
and I also try to, transfer that knowledge in form of an art
mm,
and try to give it out. Basically, like you said, that as artists, as a art, it might mean something else for me, but something else for somebody else
right.
based on the interpretation.
Mm,
So I don't know, maybe my
mm,
thought inspires somebody someday, somewhere,
mm,
in some part of the world who needs
mm.
some motivation.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. I
an
mean, that's definitely relevant to these times, I believe. And we don't need to, we can put ourselves without judging ourselves first, so that you never know who it's going to impact. So there could
Mhm.
be somebody somewhere in this world who could see the art you make, or the kind of conversations we are having right now, and going to probably go back and do something for themselves, and it could change them forever. You We cannot judge it before it's out there, so let the world judge it, and whatever little you can bring to the world is what we are ultimately trying to do each and every day. So I'm sure that's the sessions you are taking and the tips you have given are going to help somebody today or someday, somewhere in the world. I'm sure about that. Appreciate that. I really appreciate taking your time for this. I just want to ask you, are there anything, are a couple of things that you are trying to add to your daily routine to balance it out a little bit? Are there any other things that you're looking at, or it's like, okay, I'm happy with the simple things I'm doing? It can be either way. So if you have anything that you want to imbibe into your daily routine, you can give us a view into that.
Okay, so for me, like you rightly pointed out, it's not like rocket science. It
Mm,
doesn't has to be a NASA something gave some equation or something will solve the problem of our life. It is actually our day to day small little things that we probably would rush through
mm,
before. Now those are the ones, small little things that we do on daily basis, which are actually giving you that, level of grounding, level of confidence, level of being important for somebody, basically. So for me, self-care, whether
mm,
you talk from a point of view of taking some time out and doodling something, bringing out my mind on the paper so that I'm not every time getting
mm,
overwhelmed by my thoughts,
mm,
to taking the bath, like I told you earlier, like bathing, something, or a little thing like lighting a candle or spraying some fragrance in the room, to finally being able to have a sound sleep.
mm,
So those are the little things that now everybody, I think most of the people, has started to realize. But I think if there is negative side to the situations currently we are facing, there's also a positive side. Is like now we were in such a rush, like
mm,
one after one country we want to go to the other country, to the third country, and have like so many stamps on the passport. Now anniversary is coming, let us go to this country, birthday is coming, let us do this, go eat in the restaurant. We
mm,
were like, I don't know, I really don't know how we were like floating probably.
mm,
So such important things, like ultimately this is what it is. So this was a time that helped me, and I think a lot of people other are also realizing, and change is coming. So
mm,
at least like you rightly pointed out, that you need just one time, and if it fits you, it stays for a lifetime as
yeah,
well.
right.
So that's there. So
Mm,
slowly, and like for me as well, I wasn't a practitioner of art. Like, even
right.
there would be months I would not touch my stationery, basically.
Mm,
But then now it's like, this is something I need. I have to do it.
Mm,
Couple of days, couple of weeks, I
yeah.
have to go back to
Mm,
have my energy back.
yeah.
So that's the positive that I see in this
Mm.
situation.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kanika. It's really wonderful to chat with you. And thank you for taking out the time for this. Take care.
Thank you, Madhu. The pleasure is all mine. I had a lovely conversation with you, and I would like to really thank you for me having me.
Thank you so much.